Guardians at some point, but we get started with the Cleveland Browns after a word from FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're always following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. All right, G, so let's set this up right here. This is a question that's been asked in Cleveland media for the last 2 days, dubbing by the headline title and some of what me and Anna seeing in the chat. It's already triggering, so I'm pretty sure this will be a hot topic. More information came out about the arrest of Quinshon Judkins. There is a police report that was filed. If you go to Mary Kay Cabot's article, you can kind of see what some of the information that was referenced. And the question became, is this one of those situations to where you kind of put another negative mark against Andrew Berry's resume? I don't think so, but I'm curious to see what y'all think. G, start us off.
Guys, Earl hit me up last night, and you know, I'm usually a more wait to see what happens type guy.
Mm-hmm. Or you should be.
And so I, the initial stuff came out and said, there was a gap in time when she reported it. Mm-hmm. Then the article that Earl attached to the Akron Beacon Journal comes out, and there was a few things in that article that really stood out to me. One of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that she did admit that she felt bad about it, but once her friends and family saw the way she looked, because she had visible bruises and had visible, physical harm done, that they had to tell her, nah, we're going to press charge. We got to go to the authorities on this. Mm-hmm. And for me, as looking at these details, he's in some trouble. Yeah. A lot of times there could be a gray area, Jason, where we've done this a lot. We've talked about Mike Hall Jr., obviously the Deshaun Watson thing. Now it seems like a rite of passage that when these things happen, you have to be able to speak to them. And out of all of those cases, to me, this one looks the worst. And there was no really red flags. So I'll start with you, Jason. In terms of the red flags, Andrew Berry and Quinshon Judkins, can you specifically put it on Andrew Berry, or is this just something that you have no control over and you just hope and pray that whoever you sign doesn't have this stuff happen to him?
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins is a grown man. Why are you blaming Andrew Berry for Judkins' actions? Like, I don't understand that. And listen, there's plenty of things if you want to ding AB for. You can put the Deshaun thing. Malik McDowell had a long history when they signed him, and then he goes off the rails. That shouldn't be that surprising. Perrion Winfrey had a long rap sheet. He was taken off NFL teams' draft boards. Not surprising when he goes off the rails. Judkins was clean. As far as I know, there was nothing in his background from Ohio State or from when he was in the SEC. So how are you supposed to know? Like, you got to take somebody. And do you blame Chris Antonetti for Luis Ortiz throwing games if that's what he was doing for the pitches and the whole gambling thing? How are these guys? Like,
allegedly.
Thank you. You do your work and you do the background check. And if it comes back clean and there's nothing there, what else are you supposed to do? So now it looks bad when you lop it on top of everything else that he is responsible for. That's what makes it, I think, so aggravating and frustrating. But in a vacuum, I don't know how you can look at this and say this is the Browns' fault. This is Quinshon Judkins' fault. And the Mike Hall thing was really bad last year. That was really bad. And I know she recanted part of it. I was in that courtroom, because it literally was right down the street from my house. So I went and listened to the hearing and listen, she recanted, fine. There's a lot of stuff that went on in that house. Anyone who's in that courtroom can tell you that. So I don't know if this, I don't want to, they're all bad. Mm-hmm. I don't want to start putting them on scales. Right. They're all bad. Mm-hmm. Her face was busted up. in this instance. Like, there's pictures of it. The police saw it. What I read the police report yesterday while we were golfing, while I was on the golf course. I got a copy of the police report. I was reading it. And I was telling them, I'm like, this is not good at all. She's got marks on her thigh. He hit her more than once.
And didn't she record
According to the report.
Right at the time, she took pictures.
She had pictures immediately. Yeah, and people want to push back on the 5-day thing. Guys, man, this is real life. Like, this is what happens.
Yeah.
But to deny that anything happened at all is ridiculous. There's evidence. There's proof. And he hit her multiple times. Hit her once in the face, according to the report, and then she's got bruising on her thigh and on her arm. So this is really bad. This is we could wait a couple of days. I haven't said anything about it. I haven't been on the show. I haven't written about it because I wanted to wait for the police report to come out. And when I read the police report, it's like, okay, we now have the more information.
Yeah,
and it's not good.
Tyvis, I lean on. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. There's times where I've been vocal about having two sides of the story, but for me, I seen this and I said, oh, no, we can't do that, because when you look at the evidence and you look at it specifically, it just does not look like this is something that's copacetic. Can you really blame Andrew Berry for taking a guy when he had no character issues, like, as far as we know? Now, if it comes out that he had some stuff and they ignored it, okay. But is that on the general manager?
Is it on the general? Well, this is the thing. All right, so all NFL teams, this is $1 billion industry, okay? So they have private investigators. They do due diligence on all their players. You got to go and make sure. I'm talking, they going to go back and ask your middle school teacher about how you was. That's how thorough they do this. And if he came back clean, or they was comfortable enough to say, you know what, we don't see too much. He's coming from Ohio State, where I know that the Mike Hall thing happened, but outside of that, it hasn't really been, when you think about Ohio State, you think about some high character guys. So much that's some of the times that some of the alumni are upset about that. They got too many nice guys out there, too many high character guys. And when you think you're coming from that program, you're getting a product out of that program, and you see how nice those guys are, you would never suspect that somebody would do something like that. And I wouldn't necessarily put it all on Andrew Berry. I say all that to say I wouldn't put it necessarily all on him. However, there was something that you missed, clearly. There's clearly something. That's why over the draft process, there's a bunch of buttons that people push. You meet with coaches, you meet with scouts. They say crazy things to you just to see how you react, just to get to know you a little bit more. And somewhere in that process, it was overlooked. We missed it. Now, I think when I read this, it has something to do with she got off the plane, something about text messages from another dude or something like that. Yeah. And it's the same thing that happened like with Mike Hall, where it was like the woman that he loves or he's with seems to be allegedly doing some side stuff. Mm-hmm. And as a man, that triggers you when somebody is messing with, your woman. And I think for him, this seems like one of those cases where he just snapped. And the problem is when you snap like that, you don't think about the consequences that come after. You just living in the moment. And it takes a lot of maturity to be able to stop, think about everything, then act on it. A lot of people just react. And for him, he just kind of reacted, if this is true, what he did. And if the police report is correct and he struck her, it's gonna be slow.
Let me ask you a question. I don't want to put you in a predicament.
And I hate when it's a Buckeye. I hate it when it's anybody. But when it's particularly a Buckeye, especially one that I've done business with.
I was just gonna ask you.
Like he was cool.
When you at the time, because I believe you were. I ain't gonna put it on you like you was the reason he came to Ohio State.
No, I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but
I had nothing to do with
that. You had some correspondence with him from Ole Miss to Ohio State.
Yeah, we did some business together.
And so, did you have any guess, or how was he? What was your relationship like?
You know what? He was a calm guy. He was very calm. Didn't really, he joked every now and again. His mother did a lot of his business. But even when I seen him out, like the last time I seen Quinshon in person, Might have been. I forget why, but I was at Easton and I was leaving the Louis Vuitton store. Don't ask me why I was at the Louis Vuitton. Mind your business. Just mind your business.
Next time,
mind your business.
Now you owe me more than a hat.
I was leaving.
I need a belt or
First
something.
of all, I didn't purchase anything. I was window shopping. But anyways, I was leaving the Louis Vuitton store and I ran into him. And I was like, boy, what you doing over here? He was like, he was going to go, I think he was going to the Louis store. And he was like, I'm going to get a gift for my mother. So I'm like, oh, that's a good guy, you know? And I think this was before they went to the playoffs and all those things. So this was like right after the season was over. And yeah, man, it's a dude who was doing stuff for his mother. You know, he's always in the community. Like that, you never would think.
It's tough because when I read, and now quote me if I'm wrong, I think all y'all read the article. I think the individual reached out to his mom.
Yes, I mean I got the police report.
Yeah, go
here.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So just for the sake of accuracy,
so we get it down.
It wasn't that according to the police report, it was not necessary. It was text from a family member.
Okay.
So it wasn't. I mean, I don't
whatever
know.
the text was about.
Whatever it was from a family member that, according to the report, Quinshon read on her phone. Mm-hmm. She was saying it's not true. It's taken out of context. She told police she had because of her anxiety, she began to stutter, and he hit her in the face. She got out of the car. She did call Quinshon's mom, did not tell her what had happened, got back in the car, sat in the back seat. Mm-hmm. Argument continued, and that's when he turned around and struck her again. Hit her in the arm and hit her in the thigh. So it was over text messages. What the subject of those text messages are not in the police report. I'm going strictly off the police report. But she was saying that it was from family members and it was not true and it was taken out of context. That's all in terms of facts. Those are the facts on the report.
You know, for me, it's just, you know, sometimes, you know, you just got to call it what it is. That's wild work, bro. I mean, you out of pocket, bro. I don't care. To be truthful, I really don't care what the text message said. Text message could have said, I don't know, I think G. Bush is the ugliest person in the world. But
that's false, huh?
No, it's definitely false. That's definitely false. But my thing is, at that point in time, I know things can get hot and heavy and heated, but you gotta protect your peace, and you gotta understand, why would you work your whole life to get to a point when you at the doorstep? And I told Earl when he told me, I said, first and foremost, I'm like Avon Barksdale. What you playing these away games for? Like, it's 2 weeks before camp. It's 2 weeks before camp. All that sightseeing, hanging out stuff, I'm about to go down there, we gonna celebrate. No, bro, you're supposed to be locked all the way in. You ain't even signed your deal yet.
Well, you know, this is the last vacation time.
Boy, he picked.
I just want to make sure we throw that out there. You know, a lot of players take the, you know, yes. you get 6 weeks off, and that's it. Like, you're locked in for the rest of the season. So over the course of that 6 weeks, there's a lot of working out that goes on. But there is about one more family vacation that you're going to take, because everybody understands that once you check into camp, it's done. Yeah. You're done. Yeah. So I'm not faulting nobody for taking a vacation, because on a vacation, although you're on vacation, there's still weight rooms, there's still fields and all those things.
Yes.
And all those. So therefore, go ahead with your go ahead.
Now,
I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there so everybody knows why he was on vacation.
For all the family members and family men that go to vacation with their kids and don't do nothing crazy, that's awesome. I just don't know why in this situation with him, it's tough to put yourself there, but bro, you got to think. I mean, the fact that you have not even signed no contracts, it would be the first thing in the back of my mind. Like, hey, and on top of this, kind of spinning this back to Andrew Berry, I think the thing that hits a little different is they let Nick Chubb walk. And it don't go on Andrew Berry, but your record is your record. At the end of the day, you're the leader. You're the guy who chose the move. And when they evaluate you, for better or worse, this is going on your ledger. And it also makes it a little more sting to it, because You had a guy like Nick Chubb who has no character issues. He wanted to stay here. Now he's going to the Texans, and I'm looking online, and a lot of people are saying, look, you went and got 2 new running backs, right? You was going to replace them. You used the high one on Judkins. Hopefully Dylan Sampson is ready to go because it looks like he might be suspended. But in general, a lot of people are saying, how great would it be to have Nick Chubb in the fold at this moment when it happens? I can't blame him for it because I like Judkins coming out of school. I thought Judkins was one of the best running backs. I didn't hear any issues with Quinshon Judkins. It's just, that's just what it is. Your ledger is your ledger.
That's the aftermath effect, though. Like, that's after everything that happened. I still understand. I don't agree, but I still understand why the Cleveland Browns chose to move on from Nick Chubb. I understand that. You're talking about a guy that's coming off of 2 years of injury that hasn't finished the season, and there's no guarantee that he's going to get back to what he's going to be. Then on top of that, he's approaching 30. So like that, I understand those things. Like, for people to sit there and be like, I don't know why. Like, yes, you do. Like, yeah, you do. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Nick Chubb. I wish Nick Chubb was still here. I wanted him to retire as a Brown and all those things as well. Yes, he's the perfect locker room. I at least would have brought him back for a mentor opportunity. And then, boom, if he would have been here, we would have landed into the situation where, bang, he would be potentially your star running back again. But I also can't fault Andrew Berry and everybody else over there for not bringing him back for the reasons that I just mentioned at the beginning. Like, there's a lot of risk of bringing him back. And a lot of people say, well, it wouldn't even cost him anything. What did he sign with the Texans? It didn't even cost anything. At the end of the day, they believe that they wanted to give Quinshon and Dylan Sampson the majority of these carries, and they didn't really want to split them too much. They wanted to watch these guys grow as the season went on, and bringing in Nick Chubb is stunting the growth of those other 2 guys. Yes, he could be a wonderful mentor, but he's going to take some reps from those guys, some meaningful reps that could help them become better later in their career. So I understand it from that standpoint, and I at the end of the day, like, yeah, right now, hindsight, yeah, it looks bad that they didn't bring Nick Chubb back and Quinshon went out allegedly and did these things. Then, yeah, now it looks bad. But at the end of the day, you drafted 2 running backs. You got Dylan Sampson. I think you still got Pierre Strong. And you still got Jerome Ford. So you still got three backs.
I personally don't think you can mark this as a negative mark against Andrew Berry because, like everybody said, Quinshon Judkins is a grown-ass man that made a poor choice in judgment. He made a bad decision. Andrew Berry can't, be in his presence 24/7, and you can't really account for what other people do. But this is what I tweeted earlier this morning because I'm hearing this conversation, and cognitive behavioral therapy is something that I've been through twice. My parents actually forced me to go when I was like 15 years old. And I said, I believe this is something every man needs, especially this younger generation. He made a bad decision, one that's going to cost him on the field, in his pockets, his reputation, and in his peace of mind. The good thing about situations like this, you get an opportunity to redefine and redeem yourself. I always come from an angle of this is much deeper than your profession, right? Because you hopefully are going to live longer than what you play in the NFL. And when you operate like this and you can't control your emotions, like that can get you dead, in jail, or just in the worst situations, period. But I can get the emotional frustration, but trying to attach this to Andrew Berry, I just think that's flat out wrong. It's just unfortunate the Browns continue to have bad luck. It's like every time we go shoot dice, we crap out, no matter what.
You better stop shooting. You better stop shooting the dice, then.
So everybody is, everybody, I think, to a general consensus is that we can't really blame Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry picked the guy. He's the one who did the bad act. You can't really get down to it and just put that on another person. He didn't go out and put hands on nobody. So, but let me ask you this: in terms of the overall thing, you said something, Jason, that it's not just this incident, it's piling up.
Yeah. And
the Browns may not be good this year. Does this
8-9? What you talking
would you
Yeah.
about?
Stop that nonsense.
You're right.
They're not going to be good this
7-10.
year. If they're not good this year, is this one of the things that could be put on top that overweighs the scale where it's like, well, look, we got character issues. The draft ain't been good. We ain't winning on the field, and we still ain't got a quarterback.
Well, it's death by a million paper cuts. And when you draft more people to get arrested than you do Pro Bowlers,
That's messed up.
I mean, am I wrong?
I mean,
Yes.
he's not wrong.
That's messed
He's
up.
not, and that's why the only reason I bring up the Nick Chubb thing is because from a fan's perspective, the fans have got a tally list. They got a ledger. Like, I've heard so many people be like, how does Nick Chubb? Now, I understand why this happens, but fans are emotional. I'm emotional. They're like, how's Deshaun Watson on the squad and Nick Chubb get cut? Why Myles Garrett?
Math. That's why.
Yeah, math. We can do the math. Why they gave Myles Garrett another contract when he said he wanted to leave? It seems like the Browns are rewarding bad behavior. And I'm like, no, that's just business.
Yeah.
Like, but do you see where after a while you get to the end of the season and you got 4 or 5 wins looking around? They're like, well, listen, this is
7.
Okay, 7.
Thank you.
So now, granted, if a couple people hit Dylan Sampson, if he plays okay, if one of the quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, look like they're going to be a ball player, it might help a little bit. But do you think that this is something that could come back and bite them in the you know what?
Absolutely. But the Chubb thing, like people in Cleveland, sometimes you just got to let it go, man. Like, you got to move on. We still hear about Baker. We're going to hear about Nick for years.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, the Baker thing, I don't even want to relitigate that. But the Chubb thing.
Fire. 2 back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons.
The Chubb thing is he's at the end of his career. He's much closer to the end than he is the beginning. Could you have squeezed one more good year out of him? Maybe. But, we haven't seen it in a couple of years. He's had some devastating injuries he's trying to come back from. You got 2 high picks at the top of the second round. You got a running back that you really liked who had no flags in his background that we're aware of. I like Judkins. I said I like Judkins better than Henderson as an NFL running back coming out of the draft. I like the pick.
He was more durable than Travion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
outside of that though.
I'm not going to turn back. I mean, listen, Travion's great too.
Hey.
It's 1 and 1A.
Hey.
But like, if you got to pick one, I'd like Judkins in the NFL a little bit better than Henderson. So I'm not going to run from that now. And like, it's unfortunate that it's happened this way. And after a while, you do have to look and say, why does this keep happening here? But it's not just a Browns problem. It's across the NFL.
No.
Teams across the league are dealing with this.
This is a world problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you looked? Like, I mean, come on. You turn the TV on. I can go to either. I could go R. Kelly. I could go Diddy. I could go Bill Cosby. I could go. Heck, they even try to say something about Jay-Z. This is a societal thing at this point. And it just seems to be like there's really no answer for it. I guess my question is now, as we extrapolate and move this thing forward, is what do you expect from the league? You talked about Mike Hall got how many games? 5 games?
He's going to get a minimum of 6.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a minimum of 6.
He just lost all leverage in any sort of contract
That fully
negotiation.
guaranteed thing.
That's gone.
That's gone.
He's going to have to take whatever they're willing to give him at this point in terms of a guarantee. Like, it's pretty much slotted. Like, it's pretty close to.
But can they make it? Can they say, well, we don't only guarantee, we ain't going to guarantee you 100,000?
No, it'll be more.
No. It'll be more.
So there's a floor
where you got drafted at. Like, your signing bonus is pretty much there.
Okay.
But they wanted to fully guarantee the entire
Right.
contract.
You can negotiate the percentage of the guarantee, and he's not getting 100 now.
No.
I don't know, 80. If you take 80, 90, I don't know what it'll come down to. But he's not getting 100% guaranteed. He's just going to have to sign. He's going to have to go through the personal conduct policy that we in Cleveland are very familiar with. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to go through that process. And he's probably facing, I would say, a 6-game suspension or maybe even more.
It could be more.
Again, in Mike Hall's case, it's different from a legal process. The NFL, we saw that with Deshaun. We've seen it with Mike Hall. In Mike Hall's case, the woman recanted, but they still nailed him for 5 games because they looked at the evidence and said, yeah, something happened here. You're sitting for 5. So it's really sort of separate from the legal process, but they'll look at the evidence. There's pictures, there's documentation, there's proof. I think he's a minimum of 6 games.
Man,
I just wish we'd do better as a society as just stopping and thinking about everything before you do something.
Yeah,
it always come back to the fact that he's seen the message. Once you've seen the message, you ask the question. If you don't like the answer to the question, then you need to just say, all right, it's done, and I'm going to remove myself from the situation. Like, that's because you got to think, like, I got too much to lose. I talk to Earl about this all the time. Like, I'll be like, Earl, like, you got too much. You didn't put yourself in a situation where you got too much to lose. Like, you done worked way too hard to just throw it all in there. And for me, for 31 years, that's all I've been trying to do is build my reputation up. And it's so sad that one bad decision, and
like
for
this.
the rest of your life,
Yep.
every time they see you for the rest of your life, he beat women.
This is attached to him.
Every time. Like, it don't matter how you can go out there and win the Nobel Peace Prize
Nobody
after
care
this.
about that.
And they will still see you. And the first thing when they Google your name, the first thing they see is beat a woman.
Not even being funny, but Chris Brown can't even get away from a situation
Right.
that happened 10, 15 years ago. And he's known as one of the best R&B artists ever. But the first thing that's associated with him is he's a woman beater.
It's so, and it's easier. Trust me.
It's hard to walk away.
When you get in the heat of an argument,
It's hard to walk away.
and you see something that you can't unsee, don't act like, because we done all argue. I'm not condoning nothing. I'm just saying, when you literally have to remove yourself from the situation, and you got to always think and say, okay, this is right now. What about forever? He should have like, hey, listen, it is what it is. I would even had to think about it and be like, we down here hanging out, but I'm sending you home. But I can't just leave you stranded, because if I leave you stranded and something happened to you, that falls on me again. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, we in the airport. I'm gonna get you a one-way ticket back to the crib. You gonna here it is. Matter of fact, I go to the counter and get that taken care of. There you go. Don't be following me. It is what it is. We need to cool off. And then exit stage left. But sometimes, man, people just, their emotions get the best of them. And I feel bad because, his mom is like, I raised you different, and we worked this hard to get where we at.
And also, I mean, you're what? You're 45?
Yeah, 43.
43, and you're 31. I'm gonna be 49 in a couple of days. Like, we're a lot smarter now than we were at 21, right?
I mean, I got into situations like this. I had an ex-girl that came over and slapped me in the face and trashed my place, and you know what I did? I walked out.
Good on you.
I walked.
There ain't too many dudes at 21, 22
it was hard.
that would do that.
It was so hard.
I
remember calling my coaches and telling them, they was like, just whatever you do, don't hit her, leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm already gone.
Truly, you are the
already
exception,
gone.
I think. At 21, 22, to have enough sense to remove yourself from that.
Jason, I'm if anybody, listen.
Tyvus is beyond his years.
If anybody ever gonna mess up my life, it's gonna be me. Right? Ain't gonna be nobody else.
I tell people that, hey, I done been divorced a whole lot. I tell people, listen, you gonna get your parting gifts. I'll be going through extra. Let me note to self. I'll be taking pictures like it's a dash cam. Hey, now listen. Now let me see. You see her, right? Ain't nothing wrong with her. She's just emotional right now. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing. No. Listen.
You can see me. I am walking to my car.
As a matter of fact, here go $25. She said she want to get an Uber somewhere. I did not detain her. I had nothing to do with that. No, that's not what we getting down with. So yeah, but unfortunately, I hope he gets some, the counseling and help the situation he gets. And at the end of the day, I feel sorry for the victim, because we talked a lot about him as an individual because he plays for the Cleveland Browns, but she didn't ask for that, bro.
Yep.
She didn't ask for that. So, and that, at the end of the day, that's out of pocket. And we have to do better by our women. You got to do better. Like, if you're men, you're going to be leaders. You got to be real leaders. And sometimes being a leader is doing the hard thing by walking away and say, I'll live to fight another day.
You know what's scary to me? I got a 17-year-old daughter that's about to be a senior, that's about to go to Howard for college. She's a young lady that's beautiful, ambitious. And young men don't like the word no. They like to slap you up, call you out your name, even kill you. If you don't even want to do something as simple as give them your phone number. It's scary. Like, as a father as a young lady that's about to enter being an adult, it is scary because I can't protect her from everything. And it is so many younger people who really don't know how to regulate their emotions. And it's like, if you're dropping the ball raising your son or daughter, then somebody that's really trying to teach their child how to have like emotional balance can be impacted by you not doing your job. And then there's other instances to where you can do everything, cross every T, dot every I as a parent, and your child still go out here and, you know, smear your name. So these are tough situations, and I love that we can have real conversations on this show. This chat has been very engaged in this topic. Before we move on, we did do a poll, 218 votes. Are you already done with Quinshon Judkins if you're a Browns fan? 35% said yes, 64% said no. Thoughts?
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Unfortunately, it's a business. We talked about it. Just as good as the person you are with Nick Chubb, if they don't feel you can play no more, you're not gonna play. If you have some character issues on Kareem, they brought Kareem Hunt in. They had Josh Gordon, obviously the Deshaun Watson thing. If they feel you can help, they're gonna bring you on board and they're gonna keep you. Mike Hall Jr. didn't get cut. Quinshon Judkins probably won't get. He's not gonna get cut. You can't. You just, from a business standpoint, you can't afford to cut a person that you just drafted that high. And they'll look at it as, they'll get a bargain because it's gonna be on his record now. But I don't see them moving and doing it.
They even hung in there with Perry on Winfree for a while before
that's
finally
wild.
moved on.
Wild work.
I mean, it's the crazy part is it's too much invested. Second round pick. If this was an undrafted free agent,
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
As soon as it hit